fruit. I paint pictures with my words, tangled thoughts and feelings. GrowingGames.com, Rory Favreau. Tangled thoughts and feelings.
Hey there guys, welcome to the Growing Gamers podcast. My name's Tory Favreau. I hope that this video finds you well. We're coming to you from Geelong, Australia. Check it out. It's a nice place to live. Well, today we're going to be doing a movie review. It's an older one. It's a Japanese classic. I previously did review the first movie in this series. It's Ju-On. It's The Grudge. This is The Grudge 2, Ju-On 2. And we're going to have a quick talk about this because I did review the other one, absolutely loved it, and I have really mixed feelings about the second one. I have seen it before, and it was a very long time ago, but I recently rewatched it, and I was pretty disappointed, to be honest with you. The first Grudge, there was a house, bad things happened in it. The spirits in the house became vengeful and attached themselves to people, and this does do the same thing again. However, I don't know if it's a translation thing or what the case is, but it is very weird and sporadic. Basically, the premise is that the original house from The Grudge, it's a site that's going to be filmed like a bit of a documentary interviewing a famous horror actress, and the movie jumps all over the place, but basically they film within the Grudge house, and things go bad. But it was one of these weird things, whereas the first Grudge was like on point, everything, you knew what was happening in it, everything was going pretty sweet. Well, not so sweet for those who had to live there or visit the house, because the vengeful spirits would then follow them and attach to them. This movie jumps all over the place with an opening sequence where the actress who eventually goes into the Grudge house is in a car accident, and her husband or fiance is hospitalized in a coma, and then weird stuff starts happening to everyone in the house. Like I said, I don't know if it's a translation thing because it is a Japanese movie with English subtitles, but it tends to go all over the place. And even though I watch everything, like I know I've got a very open mind. I've reviewed stuff for way longer than the Grown Gamers. I've reviewed things for nearly 16 years. I've reviewed stuff on the internet, starting with a website that I have co-found called impulsegamer.com. That still exists. It's a brilliant website, so if you want to read reviews, go there and have a look at them. The Grown Gamers is my own solo project. But basically, I've reviewed for a long time, so I review genres that I don't even like, because that's the nature of the game. Sometimes you just got to look at something and say, if I was into this, would this be something that I would want to watch? And The Grudge, I love horror movies. I love well thought out horror movies. And I remember really enjoying this. And then on the second viewing, I'm like, why did I like this as much as I did? And I don't have an answer for it. Maybe I was just really into that sort of stuff at the time. I don't have an answer, but look, in terms of like, the little boy Toshio who shows up, he's the little spirit boy from the first movie. He's back again. You've got other spirits that are back again from the first movie. So there is certainly tie-in there and continuity, but the way the movie jumps around, it's unhinged. It may be deliberate, but it doesn't feel good. You're sort of like, at what point in time did this happen? There's jumps backwards and forwards, and maybe it's described better than what the subtitles give it credit for, because to me it just felt like, let's make a montage of scenes and throw them together as a movie, because there were certainly elements there where there were some clever things that happened, but ultimately the cleverness and the reveals that you get are impacted upon just by how jarring it's been put together ultimately. I'd still say to watch it. I'd probably give it a 2.5 out of 5 compared to the other one, which, was brilliant. And one of the comments here is a lot better than what most of Hollywood can offer. And that's true. The Japanese have got a very unique take on their horror. And it is still enjoyable and it's different. And of course, if you're not from an Eastern background. I'm certainly not. I mean, look at me. But it is good how they do horror. It is certainly different. And, there are other great Japanese horror movies that come to mind, like Dark Water, The Eye. I'm trying to get my hands on them again. I used to have them a lifetime ago. I'm trying to get my hands on them again so as we can talk about them in greater depth and detail, and that I can bring them to you on the show. But so I've watched The Grudge 2, Due on 2, and basically the main thrust is that they find a diary in the house from the first movie, and it's that awakens everything, but it doesn't explain it very well, and there's stuff that happens beforehand, and as a non-Japanese speaking person, I'm not sure if it's jumping backwards and forwards in time. There's some areas where you know that it's going on, in other areas there's not. There's, of course, all the weird and wonderful sounds of the first movie, and ultimately you will get some scares and some frights out of it. There's certainly some suspenseful moments, but overall, the way the movie's been put together, I just felt was lacking a little bit. But that is The Grudge 2, Due on 2. It's still worth watching, but yeah, just get ready for a little bit of what the hell's actually going on, because I can't keep up with the pacing of it. Okay, so thank you for watching. Nice and quick, short and sharp, Due on 2. And if you want to watch more videos, hop onto YouTube, look up The Grown Gamers, join the Facebook group at The Grown Gamers Podcast. You'll be able to join there. 1,500 odd people are a part of that community, which is fantastic. And of course, you can always email me at thegrowngamers@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate your time. I hope you're all well. Cheers. Bye.